Hello everyone and welcome. I was just gonna do a little quick rundown of Midjourney 5.2 and see where we are. So as of a few days ago, June 23rd, a Midjourney version 5.2 was silently dropped and we're getting some interesting things. So we have this new aesthetic system. I don't know if I like it yet or not, but I think it's definitely improved, definitely sharper. We're seeing a lot more sweet outputs. It understands text better. I even managed to generate a few like actual text things. The diversity thing, I haven't seen much yet. I haven't rendered that many images, so I can't really tell. But it's nice that they're working on that. And obviously, as we know, reroll is your friend. Then when it comes to the stylize command, obviously I've noticed that something has been a bit off with stylize for quite some time. But it's nice to see that they fixed it, because honestly I had to use like stylize 1000 for everything and it felt like it was giving me like 400 maybe or 250. So now it feels like it's doing its job again, and stylize 1000 is definitely stylize 1000. So that's the part of the new aesthetics update. And then if we look at the high variation mode, I like it. It's like I felt like the old way of doing variations felt like just wasting GPU time, and being able to kind of do high variation mode feels like such an upgrade. And then the shorten command, this is a big one. So if we're looking at, for example, I had this prompt here. Let's just paste it in so we can have a look at it. It's a close-up of a person wearing luminescent holographic clothing with a black mountain landscape, soft light, James Turrell, editorial magazine, decent, ignorant, minimal design. All right, so we ran this through the shorten command. And basically we can see a few things being removed. So it doesn't really care about soft light. It doesn't really care about ignorant or design or close. And according to this, the number one here should be as good as the original prompt. And then we can say we can go down. So holographic black mountain, this should be like the minimal you can go. I'm not sure about this, but let's see. I've also done the show details thing. And if you do the show details, it will like give you a rundown of all the tokens that you have in your prompt and the weight within brackets. So you can see here, like we have 0.02 weight of a close, and then we can see actually the tokens that do matter is like holographic, mountain, black, up, close, and landscape. We can see that mentioning James Turrell, for example, is a very low weight of 0.05. We can see that decent is like super low, editorial super low, design is like obviously is almost nothing. And if we run this like prompt here, the shortened version, this is basically what we're getting. It's a very interesting output indeed. So where does that leave us? So the original prompt I had, let's see if we can get that. We show job ID. So this is what I was going for originally, and this is what we're getting with the shorten command. So not exactly the same, but also not that bad. And we could do a few reruns here to see what we're getting. So back to the shorten command. The fact that we now can analyze prompts, right? It gives us quite a big upgrade from previously, because we would have these like really long prompts and we had no way to kind of understand what did what. But now with the fact that we can like go into a prompt and see the importance of individual tokens in that prompt, it's easier for us to kind of manipulate the prompt. Not that we need to take these baked up versions that Midjourney throws back, but it gives us a starting point to kind of like, oh, actually maybe I thought that word, that token weighted more than it actually did. Let me see if like arranging the order makes a difference. Let me see if I can try something else. We can see that very few words actually mean something when it comes to composing the image. That doesn't mean that the lower valued tokens don't do anything, but we could probably do with a more slimmed up fit prompt in general. Okay, so the zoom out feature. This is pretty cool, I won't lie. Very reminiscent of like what you can do with lexica art, obviously outpainting from Dali. But anyhow, the fact that we now have this in Midjourney, I think it's very welcomed to, will open up a lot of like new use cases. And it's quite deep, the things that we can do. So the fact that all upscales now have this button, let's see, we can like, let's upscale. Ooh, that was nice. 3 and 4. And we're gonna have a little look here what we can do. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, here we go, fly through. Here we have, so we have very strong variations and very subtle variations if we wanted to do that. Then we have zoom out 2x, and we have zoom out 1.5x, and we have custom zoom and make square. So given that our original format here wasn't square, but we did a 3:4 ratio, we can decide to do squared. So if your image is already square, you won't have this button, but for example, let's try to make this a square. And let's take this one and do a zoom out 1.5x. So it's like moving the camera backwards slightly. Let's see if we can also take this, open in browser, just get it in here to Figma for a bit. I'm just gonna have a look at it there. There we go, this job is working. It's not super fast at the moment, but anyhow, that's not a big problem. We can also see that we have this, so we obviously have zoom, make square, and then we have custom zoom. And custom zoom is interesting. If we go into, actually, which one do we want to do? We want to do this one. It's custom zoom. Yeah, let's do this one. So it opens up the prompt again. And here we can decide the zoom level. So an integer between 1 and 2. Could you include in decimals? So you can do 1.1, 1.2, all the way up to like 2. We can also change the aspect ratio here. So if we wanted to, we could go 16:9, for example, or 21:10, but let's do 16:9. And we do zoom 1.75. So we should have 2 jobs now running, and we have these done. So we managed to go zoom out on this one. There you go, pretty epic zoom out. And if we look at this one, we also have a pretty epic zoom out. Copy. So I'm just going to move this underneath here, and let's place these images on top of each other. One and go 50%. We can see what it was that we added here. So the stuff that's outside here to the right and the left was added. And if we go here now and take the one that we went to 16:9, I'm gonna open this in the browser as well, copy the image, paste it in. At this point, we've done a lot of things. So obviously we zoomed out, moved it back away from the camera slightly. We're just gonna put this all the way to the back. Maybe all the way to the front, actually. Just have an idea of how to like overlay the image so that we can see the initial square here is, or the initial piece is the first image, then we zoomed out a bit more, and now this part is the new image. Every time we do this, we keep within the constraints of like the output pixels that we can get from Midjourney. But the fact that we've gone from essentially this to this, and then to this, for me feels pretty mind-blowing. And we have very little kind of like distortion and the zoom out and all of that. So overall, very happy with that. So that's custom zoom with custom aspect ratio and custom zoom level. These things are released to get more eyeballs. We can test more, and you can switch back to 5.1 simply by going to settings. So you just /settings, and we can see that 5.2 is default. We can go to 5.1 if we want to, or 5.1 on raw. I am super thrilled that this got announced now, because it feels like, it feels like the right time, and can't wait for this to also be released in the new web UI, so that we're no longer stuck in Discord, but actually have all these controls on the website. Looking forward to that very much. I think that's about it. So thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for reading the newsletter. Thanks for subscribing here on YouTube. And this was just me doing like a very simple just explanation of 5.2 and where we are. I'm gonna record a few more tutorials and a few more deep dives on 5.2 and beyond. But again, thank you very much for tuning in, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.